Habib came to Kabul with the dust from his village still on his clothes and a bright hope in his eyes. He was young, drawn by the big city's promise, a place where a man could make money and build a small future. Kabul, with its busy streets and constant sounds, was very different from his peaceful valley. The air smelled of diesel, roasting corn, and sweet melons piled high in the market. It was a mix of smells that was both too much and exciting for him. He found work at the Mandawi market, the busy, messy center of Kabul's trade. His job was simple but hard. From early morning until the sun went down behind the mountains, he pushed a heavy wooden cart called a karachi through the crowded paths. He moved goods for the shopkeepers, heavy bags of rice, boxes of sweet-smelling spices, rolls of colorful cloth, and anything else that needed to be moved. His muscles ached, his back hurt, but Habib never complained. He worked with quiet focus, his face serious, which was unusual for someone so young. For him, every drop of sweat brought him closer to a dream he couldn't yet name, a future he hoped to earn with his own hands. The city was a maze of amazing things and challenges. Habib lived in a small room he shared with other workers. The walls were thin, but their dreams were big. He ate simple meals of bread and beans, saving every coin he could. In the evenings, after work, he would sometimes go up to a rooftop and watch the city lights twinkle below. He saw kites flying in the sky, a colourful sight against the dark blue, and felt a little lonely for the life he'd left behind. But he also felt like he belonged, connected to the city's old heartbeat. He was a small part of its story now, a single thread in its big, complex picture. Habib's days found a rhythm, guided by the sun and the market's needs. He learned the shopkeepers' names, the shortcuts through the winding streets, and the best place to get hot tea. He became a familiar sight, the boy with honest eyes and a strong back, pushing his cart with steady purpose. The market's noise, the shouting sellers, the laughing children, the bleating goats, it all became the music of his new life. He was no longer just a boy from a village. He was Habib of Mandawi, a young man making his place in the world, one heavy load at a time, his heart full of a simple, unspoken hope. It didn't take long for the people of Mandawi market to notice the quiet boy from the north. Habib was different, in a place where every deal was a negotiation and trust was hard to find. His honesty was like a fresh spring in the desert. If a merchant paid him too much by even one coin, he would walk all the way back across the market to return it, his face serious and true. When an old woman dropped her bag of potatoes, he was the first to stop his heavy cart, kneeling to help her pick them up, not wanting any money for his kindness. These small acts, done without expecting anything back, began to show everyone what kind of person he was. The shopkeepers, old tough men who had seen everything, started to look out for him. They would call his name Habib Jan and give him the best jobs, knowing their goods were safe with him. Sometimes a baker would give him a warm piece of bread, or a fruit seller would press a ripe apple into his hand, telling him he looked too thin. They saw in him the sons they had sent to work, or maybe the young men they once were. His presence brought a certain gentleness to the rough and tumble world of the market. He spoke little, but his actions spoke loudly, earning him a quiet respect that money couldn't buy. Habib's kindness went beyond people. He often shared his small lunch with the stray cats and dogs that roamed the alleys, creatures most people shooed away. He would find a shady spot during the hottest part of the day to let them drink water from his own cup. This care for the smallest and most helpless creatures didn't go unnoticed. It showed a deep kindness, a tenderness that was rare and special. The people of the market would watch him and nod to each other. "That boy," they would say, "has a good heart. God will watch over him." His simple goodness was a quiet lesson for everyone. And so Habib, the boy with the karachi, became more than just a worker. He became a part of the market's family. He was a symbol of being honest and good, a reminder that even when trying to survive, there was room for kindness and grace. He didn't look for attention or praise, but his good name grew naturally, like a strong tree taking root in Kabul's rocky ground. He was known not for the weight he could carry on his cart, but for the goodness he carried in his heart. The city, in its own way, had begun to welcome the hopeful young man from the north, making a small, warm space for him in its busy world. One very hot afternoon, when the sun beat down on Kabul's dusty streets, fate brought about a meeting that would change Habib's life forever. He was pushing his cart, heavy with bags of flour, through a very narrow path near the bird market. A small crowd had gathered, and as he tried to pass, his cart accidentally bumped into a stack of clay pots outside a shop, sending one crashing to the ground. It broke into many pieces. Habib's heart sank. He knew he didn't have the money to pay for it. He stood there, frozen, his face red with shame, expecting the shopkeeper to yell at him. From the shop's doorway came a young woman. Her name was Bibi Radojan. She was the shopkeeper's daughter, a Hindu girl whose family had lived in Kabul for many years. She had eyes the color of dark honey and a kindness that shone from her like the warmth of a clay oven. Seeing Habib's worry, she didn't scold him. Instead, she knelt and began to pick up the broken pieces. "It's all right," she said, her voice soft and gentle. "It was an old one, already cracked." Habib, still very ashamed, could only stare at her. He'd never seen a face so beautiful, nor heard a voice.